Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the Writers Mindscape.
Mindscape.
Was that a question?
Mindscape.
Oh, great! I am Groot of Mindscape.
Mindscape.
You're an idiot.
Mindscape.
You are
Skip,
totally...
mind.
Oh no, I have the Pokemon.
Anyway, what's up, ladies and gentlemen?
Today we're continuing our discussion of governments. More specifically, we're going to talk about the role of laws and crime
Okay.
and potentially courts.
Ooh.
If this doesn't go too long.
Okay.
But in other words, we're going to kind of break down basically the three branches of government, like legislature, executive, and the courts.
Yeah, I mean, it still depends on what type of government you have.
A lot of like monarchies can have it all run through one.
Right.
But usually they have some kind of small board or something off to the side. Look at Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Everything reports to the Iron Throne. Yeah.
I
can't think of the name.
I don't watch it. So
How dare you?
I just don't.
But the king on the Iron Throne, but he has the hand.
Yep.
The hand of the king, who does a lot of the work. You have a small council who deals with different. Each person has a specific role.
Well, yeah.
In there.
Why not?
So, but everything does run through. If the king comes in and says, "Oh, we're doing this. I want this law." Guess what? It's a law now.
Yes, of course.
So it really comes down to that. So let's look at. You can't have crime if you don't have laws. So let's start with laws.
Okay.
Adam.
Yes.
What's a law?
What's a law?
Yeah.
A law is a decree from a government saying that this is a legal thing to do or an illegal thing to do.
Define legal and illegal.
Oh man, okay. Legal, I mean, really it comes down to basically saying, hey, doing this is bad, but doing this is okay.
Or I like to put it this way: if you do this, you're fine. If you don't do this,
there will be a punishment.
We have power. We're gonna make sure you pay something.
Right.
Whether it's a fine,
yes.
jail, your life, there will be something.
There will be a punishment, a payment of some sort that will be made.
And now, if you have anarchy government. You can have this, but
no one's doing it.
It's
usually done right then and there.
Yeah, if there is there, or it's like, oh, there's a law that says I can or cannot do this. Oh wait, there's no one really enforcing it.
It's anarchy.
Like no one's enforcing these laws because they're a million miles away.
Yeah, that's when a good example of that actually is the Outer Rim in Star Wars, in the Star Wars universe. They're so far away from the central government that they just kind of do whatever they want.
Yeah, I mean, each planet seems to have their own.
Yeah, there's still, some guidelines, but overall, they just do what they want.
Yeah. So it really comes down to, like, again, who's in charge, who has the power and the authority to say, this is okay, this isn't okay.
Right.
And it's also depending on the type of government and the person in charge, whether you can have conflicting laws.
Exactly.
And if they apply to everyone or just the people and not them.
Maybe you have a very equal government and some people are more equal than others.
Yeah. So when it comes to your world building, when it comes to laws and stuff like this, and this is going to be very tied with your story, you don't really need to dive deep into there.
No, you just kind of go, hey, we can't, maybe have a character who says, hey, we can't do that, we'll go to jail for 5 years.
Or if you're been building up this one location, this one kingdom or something like that for being very unique or different, having a really weird or different type of law become known is a great way to show that.
Yeah.
Because at the surface you can say, wait, this looks like every other kingdom. Oh yeah.
No, like, but there's no gum chewing here.
Look down. You cannot look at the monuments. It's against
the law.
And it's except for between the hours of noon and 3.
Yeah, during noon and 3 you can look up at them.
Or you can't look at the sun to see what time of the day, where its placement. You can have some of these random stuff if you want to show that. Maybe the king who runs the empire doesn't serve the sun god, but serves the
moon god.
Not the moon god, but
the god of the underworld?
Yeah, or the god of the earth.
Yes.
And therefore you have to be looking down and not up.
Right.
You could have these weird things like that.
That would just be weird, though.
But it's just a way to think about, unless they're going to be incorporated into your story in great ways, importance, you don't really need to talk about them. People get them. The standard laws you see in every other story in our world are probably going to apply unless you say differently.
Okay.
For that. So, when it comes to laws, how are they made? Again, this depends, again, where it's ended.
What kind of government do you have? Do you have a government that is a legislative government?
Yep.
Then yes, they'll come down from above type of thing. Monarchies, they definitely come down from above.
Again, it comes down to what kind of monarchy. Is it a true monarchy? So the king has to say the law?
Yeah, physically say it.
In one of my stories, I actually had the queen makes the laws, but he has a censor, a royal censor.
Okay.
He's in charge of writing decrees and laws, but they don't become laws without her signature and seal.
Okay. Well, I mean, that makes sense.
And she has a council of other
ministers, basically.
No, not ministers, but other, because she's a large kingdom, so it's more like princedoms or queen, stuff like that, but almost like a high kingdom in a sense, but not, that can advise based on how it would affect them overall, whether they should or not. So it's one of those things, but it's still up to the queen.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
If the queen signs it, then it affects only her territory or the entire kingdom. They don't get a say. They can't not enforce it.
Oh, all right.
So, but this just goes to show you some of the things you can do that. So again, you got to think about how the laws are going to be coming. Maybe you're the person who makes the laws. No one is seen. It's just locked inside a room, and that's all they do.
Yeah, they just write all the time.
And you may not make sense of the law. And
on Tuesdays, you can't eat catfish with brown sugar on it. And you're like, I'd never thought of doing that. And now on Tuesday afternoon, I want a catfish with brown sugar on it. But I'm going to have to wait for Wednesday.
Oh, damn it. I hate, and Wednesdays, I'm not allowed to walk anywhere without gums stuck to my both feet.
Yeah.
The exact same spot. If it's not the exact, it's a $500,000 fine.
Okay, that's just ridiculous. I was going to say that Wednesdays you can't walk down the left-hand side of the street. Sorry, the south-facing end of the street.
While chewing bubblegum?
No, while wearing a bow tie.
Oh, okay. And on Thursdays, you're not allowed to walk your pet alligator.
On the north side of the street?
No, on Main Street.
Oh, okay.
Only Main Street.
Yes.
Everywhere else, you're allowed to walk the alligator.
Okay. I mean, that's cool. I like this town.
Yeah, if you want some ideas of interesting and unique laws, just go look at old laws that are still in the books, technically, that we break all the time. I don't know if it's still actually in the books anymore, but at one point it was, and I'm pretty sure it still is. In the state of New York, you're not allowed to talk in an elevator.
Okay. I mean, okay. I know that there was one in a town in Connecticut where you could not take advice on Sundays from a man wearing a bow tie.
Interesting.
I was like, why Sunday?
It's a day of rest. You're not supposed to make decisions.
Well, I was like, all I could think of is that there was like some preacher who wore bow ties and just gave really terrible advice during his sermons. And they were just like, yeah, we're going to fix that.
He changed out the bow tie to a tie.
Yeah.
He's like,
and
I can do it.
Suddenly starts giving better advice.
It's like, wow, okay.
Maybe I shouldn't have worn that bow tie for that long.
Well, yeah, so when it comes down to laws and how they come and all that, again, based on your government, based on what you want to do, and it depends on what's for your story. If you're doing an open world like we're building, you may want to know some of these things in advance as you're developing different areas of the world.
Oh, God, yeah.
Just so you have them there so if we ever need them. But if they haven't been stated in other works already, you can still change them.
Yeah, you can get crazy.
Once you state the fact, state something in
the story, it's kind of there.
It's kind of there, unless like a law, you could then say, if you change it, all you have to do is like, oh yeah, they changed it.
They voted on it.
Yeah.
It's been taken care of.
So it's one of those things. So let's move on to a more interesting part of this section. Crime.
Damn right.
Especially since we know that one of your kingdoms is designed... Well, actually, they don't know because we haven't done the...
Oh, yeah. No, we've
pre-recording.
never done that.
But anyway, one of your kingdoms is built upon like crime and corruption.
Okay, so I have my Western Empire is based upon... It's a monarchy. It's an empire. But one of the emperor's sons runs the church, which oversees all actual crime.
Interesting.
So, organized crime, running numbers, protection rackets, moving drugs, drug trade. The church oversees all of that.
We're gonna get some hate speech now.
Oh yeah. I'm just like, look, I'm turning tropes on their head.
Yeah. So no, that's a really good way to think about it. Again, this is one of those areas that unless it's gonna be important to your story, you don't really need to really dive into it. But generally, even the best of heroes end up bringing laws.
Yeah, there's going to be some law telling them that they can't do something.
So you're gonna have crime, and you're gonna have to have a punishment if they get caught.
Mm-hmm.
And it should be known ahead of time, never be revealed later.
No. Not unless you're actually trying to use laws to screw over another character.
Yes.
Then you start just revealing it after the fact and being like, yeah, we made that a law and you screwed it up, so sorry.
Yeah. It's one of those things you can have some really fun with on crime. Especially like running the thin line between breaking and following.
Playing that gray area.
Yeah, bending in at the right spots to do things.
Oh, yeah.
It works great for heist movies or heist stories, especially if you're stealing something.
You've got a scoundrel as one of your characters.
But you're doing it completely legal.
Oh, yeah.
And all that. That would be a fun story to tell.
That would be.
It's going to be heavily based on laws and understanding of legal systems and all that to really make it work. But again, it's just one of those things you can do. And crimes can be different. They don't have to be the standard.
Oh, no.
You killed someone. Maybe
that's encouraged.
Maybe that's not even... Murder's not against the law.
Maybe you have a 12-hour period in your story where all crime is legal.
We're not talking about...
What? What are you talking about?
We're not talking about The Purge.
What is that?
Yeah, you're an idiot. But no, it's like one of those things like you could think of like for that. Like maybe it's against the law to help out your fellow man.
Mm-hmm.
And like you're not allowed to help them do their workload.
Exactly.
But you can give them food, but you can't help them with their workload. Or maybe workload is okay, but food...
Yeah, you can't give them food or something weird like that.
Yeah. It's one of those things you can have some interesting things if you want really to kind of dive into it. Again, it should have an effect on your story. Even if it's going to be a small effect, maybe you have to go into an area like that, so you have to develop it that way.
Yeah.
You should know a good portion of it if you're going to do something like that. Maybe when you meet an important character who's going to be part of the series or later a big part of the book there, so you want to show them their life that way, you can have some fun with that stuff.
Oh man, that's always the fun stuff.
So we have some time.
So, we got time.
So we're going to dive into the court system.
Yes.
And you can really go nuts with the court system here. Hey Adam, how many levels to our court system? Do you know?
That's way too much. So you got town, county, state,
and then federal.
Regional, federal.
Oh, regional, federal.
Then another regional, federal. Yeah, and then there's supreme.
Okay.
I think it's like 6 or 7 levels that you actually have to work through.
But not everything has to go through every single level.
Oh, no. Some things get jumped,
it's like,
skips these things.
You can, under this condition, you can go to the...
It's going to be the New York court that you'll be going to because that's the regional court that deals with that.
Yep.
On a federal level. Or you're going to go to this county court. Or you actually have to go to, 3 towns over that one specific courthouse.
Yeah. And then you have the Supreme Court on top of that.
Yeah.
So you can have as many levels as you want. In this series I'm going through right now with the audiobook, the Schooled in Magic series,
Yes.
when we actually get to see one of the kingdoms, the way the court system works is simple. It's the barons that have priority over mid and low justice,
Okay.
where the king of Zangaria has justice over all three.
Oh, wow.
So barons can determine in their own regions
Crime within their own region.
crime cases, anything like that there, mid and low, and they can always appear, if they want to, appear to the king to see how if he would overrule them, because he gets final
say.
But he can also say no. I'm
not even going to listen to it. I'm
not ruling on this. Like, I don't care. I don't agree with them, but I'm not killing your case.
But they are so far below me that they're nothing but ants.
So, how your court system works, you could, again, how...
Could be a military court.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna, it depends on what kind of story you're going to tell. It's really when you're going to dive into this area more. But knowing this, if you are doing an open world, is a good thing to know. Maybe you have a really cool idea for a court system, and you want to do it, and you throw it in there, but you have no clue when you're going to use it.
Yeah,
you have no stories for it.
Then hang on to it.
But it's there because you know, and then when you finally have a reason to use it, there you go. You have it. And
I mean, you could have a character whose backstory deals with this. Yeah. They've been in and out of jail for, so many years of their life, or they've been in and out of military prison.
And one of the cool things about this is the red tape of the court systems and laws.
Oh my God.
And having like, oh, you don't want to do this? Oh, if you want to, you can jump your, we ruled against you, but if you want to appeal, you have to go to this place. Then the next one before you can get up to there. But if you file this form and get it in within 10 minutes of this ruling, you can jump it to 3 systems.
Exactly.
To appeal.
That's where you will have some legal people, lawyers, if you will, who it's their job to know this stuff.
And one of the things you could have some fun with this is you could have those people talking and no one understands a word they're saying.
Oh, yeah.
And it's like the reader doesn't understand what they're saying. And it's done that by design.
They speak a specific language that no one else knows unless you're part of that.
I've always thought the laws are written in a complex way, specifically for lawyers.
Oh, yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah.
It's a very specific speech pattern.
Because they do it to make them self-important. And makes it, and also makes the legislators easier to hide things.
Exactly.
If everything was just common base and easy to read and understand, you wouldn't be able to get away with shit.
Nope.
So you can have fun with all these areas.
Oh yeah.
And if you do have like an executive branch versus a legislative branch,
I mean, you could quite literally have going back to my idea of an actual democracy, or an actual communism. You could have it's literally one person. Mm-hmm. Who's just like, technically they all voted to say that I'm the top guy here, or we all agreed in the community that I'm going to be in charge.
Yeah.
But I'm the last guy to hear this stuff.
Also, one of the things you could do is, because I can't remember what case, I can't remember exactly what president did this.
Oh yes.
I think it was Andrew Jackson.
Ooh.
I could be wrong, and I can't remember what he was doing, but he made a decision that was appealed and got to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court overruled him.
Oh wow!
On it, and he said, "Thank you, Supreme Court, for your weighing in on this. I'm going to ignore you because I have to follow that. My branch is the one that enforces that, and we're not going to."
I mean, yeah.
So it's one of those things where you could have, if you have a similar branch to ours, and you have someone who doesn't like something, you could do that. I really kind of want to know.
I would like to know what that was.
I'm pretty sure it was Andrew Jackson. It was early in our country's history. It was like one of the first, one of the few early Supreme Court cases, if I remember correctly, from U.S. history class.
Okay.
I'll have to figure that out. But anyway, you can have stuff like that, and you could really dive in with some fun with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially if you're, it goes with this narrative of rebel saying he's a dictator, but he doesn't portray himself as a dictator, but he really is a dictator.
He's a dictator.
And he does stuff like this.
Yes.
oh, that's check and balance. Oh, he ignored the check and balance.
Yeah, he still went ahead. He stacked the deck so far for him that it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So you can really have fun with this system. But this is going to be one of those areas, unless you really want to dive in just for your own fun, you don't want to develop this area unless it's going to be a big part of your story.
Okay.
But again, have fun. If you're developing an open world and you're kind of developing it based on one story, but you want to flesh it out later on, you get to one of these areas for one of your kingdoms, great, do it.
Yeah.
But unless it's important to a story, the story you're currently going to work on, you don't really have to.
No, you don't have to.
You don't really have to spend too much time here. Unless you're criminal justice nut.
I mean, then go nuts, dude.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Have fun with it.
Get crazy with it.
I eventually will probably do this with at some point with one of my stories because I think it'd be hilarious and fun.
All right.
You have anything else to add to this?
Not entirely. Not entirely.
Okay.
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
I got nothing.
Nothing about a bush
No, not this week.
burning.
Nope.
Okay. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, let us know down in the comment section what you thought of this. Your thoughts on this topic and whether we should develop it, regardless if you're going to be important to the story or not. Since you're going down that way, before you go and leave a comment, be sure to hit that thumbs up. You're clearly liking what you're hearing here, people. So give us a thumbs up.
Boom.
And since it's right next to it, go ahead and hit subscribe.
Ding.
And ring the bell.
Ding-a-ling.
And what's our tagline? We should really discuss this beforehand.
We don't have one.
Ring the bell and help us come up with a tagline in the comment section.
Yeah.
So we can stop stealing other people's.
I mean, I still kind of liked the Become One of Us.
Yeah, no. It's too much like Join Us.
Well, yeah, that's true.
How about this?
Yes.
Give us a thumbs up and to be awesome.
Okay.
Or be awesome. Give us a thumbs up.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that's cool.
Let us know down in the comment section how much you think that sucks or like it. Because I'm definitely going to be saying it sucks in the comments.
All right.
You know, if I should listen to this podcast.
Of course.
I don't even listen to my own podcast. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's all we have for you this week. Hope you have a great running week, and we will talk to you in our next podcast. Bye.